So I'll just ask the question that I'm sure is already going to be asked, or maybe it hasn't, but the whole exploitation angle, and do you feel like that's part of what a documentarian has to be careful of, that you're not sort of exploiting a subject, and talk about some of the backlash that could come, or maybe it won't come?
Well, firstly, people are entitled to have their own opinion. I mean, I'm very sex positive. I'm very much of the view that as long as there's consent and clearly defined boundaries, I'm not going to judge you for whatever turns you on. I recognize that in Sierra's line of work, there is the potential for people to be exploited. Now, I'm not saying that's what I've seen happen, but some of these extreme fetishes, it gets a little blurry, especially financial domination or blackmail role play. So everything I've seen her do is totally ethical. But I respect that people will have a range of opinions on that. And frankly, that's part of what the film serves up and lets the audience make up their own mind about that. So there's that, and then there's just the exploitation aspect of, okay, I'm this director going into this world. Am I exploiting the world? Very fair question. You know, I feel confident that this is a collaboration. I mean, Sierra is an executive producer on the film. When you see it, it's clear that we're equally creative counterpoints. You know, she's been consulted every step of the way. She's watched every cut of the movie. You know, we wrote that into her contract. So we, you know, protected her right to give feedback. I've got final cut because I'm the director, and that's not negotiable. However, if you have any problem along the way, or if you feel you're being misrepresented, whether it's documentary or fiction, doesn't matter, tell us and we'll listen. So we had a super honest, transparent, you know, partnership from the beginning, and there really have been no issues that way. Again, communication is everything. The door's open to communicate. So we just kept talking every step of the way. But you know, yeah, this is a film about the male gaze. And it's about how a woman uses the male gaze. That's how she's made a fortune. So it's super interesting, right? Because it's kind of like how she markets herself to men and how she uses men. It's weird. And then there's my perspective on it. It's all, man, what can you say? It's a lot of blurry lines, isn't it?
Well, and the exploitation topic could come up regardless of the subject. I just happen to go there just because I know I've heard other people say that about similar films. Absolutely. But it could be about a family that's doing nothing out of the ordinary but just living their lives, and are you exploiting them by showing either a loosely based narrative of their lives or whatever. So yeah, just that exploitation question, you know.
Yeah, it's going to come up. And you know, frankly, while I was making the film, the Me Too movement happened, which is obviously a fantastic thing. But people were like, are you a little bit nervous making a movie dealing with sexuality in this climate? And my answer was, if you can't make that now, when can you? I mean, this is the time to talk about all those things and,
Sure.
and flush it all out and have those uncomfortable conversations. And you know, I think we have approached the subject matter in a tasteful way, in a thoughtful way. I can tell you a lot of thought has been put into it. It's not just my perspective, it's a range of perspectives that have been funneled into this story. So we hope that the film will inspire discussion, lively debate, conversation. In fact, that's why I make movies. And if it's a little controversial, all the better.
And it seems like we've gotten to a point where we can't talk about anything without offending some group.
Yeah, well, look, my thing with that is, you know, honestly, I've pulled back a bit from Twitter. Not that I'm like spouting off controversial opinions, but it's more just like pick your platform. Like if I'm going to be sharing my ideas on addiction or male sexuality or, you know, sex in the internet age or the American dream, maybe I should do that in a 90-minute movie where people can like sit in a theater and watch it and they've got time to digest it and ask questions. Maybe better to explore it there than like a tweet. Do you know what I mean? It's like pick the right platform. And if you're going to delve into some controversial topics, make sure it's a format with enough time that you can deal with it with nuance. I mean, frankly, I don't really want to tweet about some of the topics in this film. It's not appropriate. I can't get my opinion down to 140 characters or whatever it was. That's why we make movies, because there's more to say.
Right.
So, you know, pick your platform. It's definitely dangerous just airing every thought that comes into your head on Instagram or Twitter. And this is why people get a little bit bland on social media, especially actors. Of course we're going to be image conscious. You don't want to put forward a political opinion or a strong opinion and alienate half your fan base immediately. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm all for tackling the thorniest, craziest issues in my movies, and I want to do that. And people, frankly, want me to do that, and they like that I do that. What's the benefit for me doing that on Instagram or Twitter? I don't see a lot, So my social media is more about sharing professional news, sharing my love, sharing my passions, my hobbies, and it's all me, but I do honestly, I shy away from that kind of complexity on social media. I don't really think it's the right place for it.